Hello, my name is Andrew and welcome to my channel. Here I am developing some solutions to the problems I have. For now, there are a few problems related to keeping one of my YouTube channel alive. So let me increase the font of the thing. Okay. So, small recap about what's going on. First of all, the problem I solve. It's to generate videos to one of my channels. I have Python script. It takes too much of my attention and I'm not happy about it. The problem I must solve is to reduce number of interactions between me and video generation stuff. And I decided to do it quite easy because I used to have a project similar to this, but it was in Python. It used a lot of external dependencies. Firefox, hello. Yeah, so this is what I used to have. UI and API. I used to have an API and the front end. My API used Django, Redis, Celery. It was not bad, but I couldn't solve a few other problems, and that's the reason why I decided not to proceed with this project. But it used to have quite interesting UI. It was like this. UI was about let's create a pipeline and then arrange blocks. Each block had input and output of different formats, and I could say resize image. It works with images, obviously. And then I could say, okay, let's add watermark to that image. And as you see, input was file as well as string. So let me open this in new tab. Yeah, another new tab. Yeah, better. Here it is. It was file and string. That means if any of other blocks produced arrays, this block would say, I don't work with array, goodbye. And it could be, it used to be true back in the day, but today, what if that array is array of files? It's a problem, but obviously I can solve it a bit later. I solved it with some text stuff, and I think today I'm going to experiment with that array because I made solution, I added unit test, it looks like working, but today I'll implement one of the blocks. I hope it will be successful, and that block produces JSON, which contains array. So I need to extract that array, and for each element of that array, I have to generate an image. That's what I'm going to do. And speaking about of why not old project, it used to have too much dependencies. Redis, Celery, obviously there was some sort of database. I'm not happy about bottlenecks in there. So it's 3 extra dependencies. Obviously there was a shared storage, but this time I decided to do a bit different. I decided to make one binary. Here it is. So right now I will have one binary, shared storage, and nothing else. Multicast DNS, it's a network feature. Fortunately, it's by default for Apple, but for Linux, I think it's Avahi daemon. So simply install it and have fun. It will work. out of the box. So I will have one binary shared storage where I can see results and gather them, and that's all. Obviously, later I will attach Grafana and Telegram. I need notifications, but for now it's just one binary which works and it's having no problems. So it's a small recap about what I used to do, what this video is about. And let's go to the progress. Last few days I have implemented two things. Today is October 5. Nice. So I have implemented stop pipeline block. It was quite a lot. So let me show you how it is done. Somewhere in unit test I have block stop pipeline test. Good. Here it is. I think there is better test in here. Yeah. So let's assume I need to stop processing when some condition was met. In here, there was better test. Yeah. In here, I have pipeline which is defined as let's make request somewhere, fetch result, and then if that request was accepted, then we should stop. Yeah, action accepted. Stop pipeline if declined. So yeah, here it is. I have block named stop pipeline, which takes input from output of first block. I don't know what's inside of first block except there is HTTP request. Fortunately, I have a thing named JSON path. So I wait that first request, HTTP request, will yield me some JSON. And then I'm making input. Input for stop pipeline block, it's quite straightforward. I need condition, which is equal, not equal, greater, less, etc. And I need value. So the value, URL, condition value. And then I'm checking processing. Here it is. First processing is HTTP request. I'm checking that it is completed. Then I'm checking second processing. And when stop processing happens, it marks the processing as stopped. So there is no need of processing any separate status. Obviously, it has here. I used to have update the interface. Interface is processing. Yeah, I think it's here. So instead of making some error, which might be exception or whatever, I decided to yield new boolean flag, which means that it was stopped. I don't need unique error. I don't need unique output stuff. I need explicit declaration that pipeline is stopped. It's I would say quite interesting block by itself. Here is the code it has. I have a helper which evaluates conditions, and it's here. Yes, it's generic. I don't like it. I don't like generics, yet I have to use it because it's limitation, some sort of. So by default, I treat data and value as some sort of type. It's ordered. Yes, it was interesting. That's the problem. Here it is. I must check data and value as equals, as not equals, but other stuff, such as less than, etc., it will depend on type. Here it is. So I can check and compare only 3 types. The rest will be unsupported type. It's limitation, but I have to live with it. Fortunately, most of data for checks, it's string and integer, maybe boolean, but it will be converted. That's all. And the processing of this stuff happens data classes, pipeline. Yeah, here it is. There was a big cycle. Yeah. Where are you? Block input. Here it is. Stop processing. So I have a processing registry which takes care about processing. They can start it in some sort of order. Right now, all processing are made in consequence, sequentially. So they start one by one, and it's okay when I have pipeline which is plain. But what if I have pipeline which has, it will be an example. What if stop pipeline depends on first block? It's fine. They can be followed one by one, but third block, what if depends on first block? Should third block wait the second block? Obviously no. It should be done in threads. So when first block has completed its processing, it should build some sort of plan which says, okay, I have 7 different blocks. Let's start them in different threads because they share memory, etc. And that's what I'm going to do later. But for now, this is the test. And there was another test. Action accepted, where is declined? Here it is. The only difference between previous test and this test here in condition not equals, that's all. Without it, I'm checking that all 3 processing has been completed because condition is not met, it was not accepted, and here it is. It must not be stopped and it must be marked as completed processing. And to introduce new parameter, it took me a lot of copy pasting, I think 20 minutes minimum, because I had to figure out, I wouldn't say figure out, it's like interface update. I had to insert boolean here, then boolean here, and I think in block processing, yeah, here as well. It's like insert boolean everywhere. Also, every test must be updated, and it was interesting experience. After that, I have introduced finally OpenAI chat completion. It makes request to OpenAI using some library, obviously. And I checked it, and I have created a pipeline. Here it is. This is a small spoiler because I have not only just chat completion, but text-to-speech request, and then image request. So I have implemented 3 new blocks. Here they are. It's just a copy-paste, I think, but it wouldn't be just copy-paste because 2 blocks, they are similar, such as chat completion. So it's a block which has user prompt, system prompt, and then it makes some stuff. So to see how it looks like, here it is. It's a test pipeline which works. I checked it. And there is a model. There is some sort of system prompt what ChatGPT should consider it's doing. And there is user prompt. After that, so I have introduced two different parameters instead of one. It used to be one. And then here I think, yeah, it's just one call to the system, and I read output to bytes buffer. I think the same was text-to-speech request. Let's check process. Yeah, it's the same, but in text-to-speech request, I receive a file, and then I read the body of the response to a new buffer, and I yield new buffer, so it's quite simple. The tricky thing was about image. An image request for OpenAI, it can have two different options, and that option is response format. There are a few response formats. As far as I remember, first, when you get URL and you can make request to that URL, it's the thing I use in my current implementation in Python script, but I found that more convenient option is to get that image in response as base 64. So I get that response. Here it is. After that, I encode that base 64 to image data, and then I write whatever there is to output. So I do not check its PNG, I do not check whatever format it is, because that's the problem of API. And I have a test for this. So it was the only interesting place I used to find implementing new blocks. I used to have a test for this. Block test image request. Yeah, here it is. By the way, this is the library I'm using for OpenAI communication. So you may find it in the sources. This project is open source. I don't think it's necessary to close it. And here it is, the test. I introduce that it's a unit test. I introduce new block. Then I generate PNG image. So my tests can generate some random picture. And that picture contains the response of my mock server, contains complete copy of what OpenAI yields. It yields this. There is some date of creation and base 64. Here it is. I encode PNG of some width and height to base 64. I start mock server. It's just the server for this particular test. And I declare OpenAI client. Okay, OpenAI client, you have base URL. And that URL is my mock server. So whatever request it is, authentication, authorization, /image, whatever there is, there will be always one response, mocked response with image. And then I'm making this request. After that, I'm checking that PNG buffer. It's a buffer I sent to mock server is equals to whatever this block was doing. So if I run this test, obviously it works. It's working. But what's interesting, I have made a separate pipeline for this. It's OpenAI test. Yeah, here it is. So I generate an image with some sort of size, quality, and maybe other parameters, but right now I need only two. And I think this is the smallest things I've done within 2 days. Most breaking change, major feature, I would say, major fix. It was about config. I think it's here. Yeah, refactor code of block related block config. So let's do the following. Where is the block? Easiest block should be block blur. No, let's go to resize. Yeah. So I used to have this. I have a config of a block, but also I have default options. Here it is. It's block image resize. Let's check it. Image resize. I have default values such as if no parameters has been passed, let's do the following. There is default width, default height, and default keep aspect ratio, but I don't use it for now. So to do the thing, I had to introduce generics again, and I'm not happy about it, but there is no easy way to do it. So this is how the function looks like. Just for the reference, let me share how it used to look. Let's go to the repositories. Here it is. Types, blocks, image resize. So right now it looks like there is small declaration and 3 lines of code, nothing more. Back in the day, I think, yeah. Something wrong. Let me make it less history. Yeah, at this point. So it used to look like 2 lines of code after, but now it's set config section, set processor, and before that I used config, but it's not representative because I had a problem, I think here. There were a lot of let's check out. It's easier. Yeah, so I introduced new parameter, new prompt. That was the same, it's a test. Oh, here it is, I think. No. Oh. So I reduced number of code significantly, and it's no longer it's a test block config. So where is it? Image test. Here it is. Nice. So in here it used to be a lot of things happening. I have reduced that number of lines, and I think it was introduced new method. So each time I have block, I can call getBlockConfig, and it will yield me default config. So back in the day, I had to call it like this. Yeah, I had to instantiate the config, then I had to parse default block config into block get config section, and it was like tough. So I was not happy about it. Also, I had to set configuration for each block. Right now, I don't have that crazy thing. And each block also used to have link to configuration, which was not good, because if I update config in test, it won't have any effect. Right now, it does have an effect, and that's quite, I would call it technical stuff. Yeah, it's the same here. I create new instance, then I call default block config. Let's make it from a thing saved in instance. That's not good. I must parse config and yield whatever is in config. I don't need to work with the block itself. And I have introduced configurable block. It's in here. The only difference, it has its own config. So each block, if it has this declaration, it will have this thing. So each block has its own class for its own config. This one has this height, and it makes everything easier when we speak about this. I have some block. When I call block config, I have properties of that block, quality, size, style. But if I'm speaking about chat completion, I have the same copy-paste. The only difference, it's new instance. I call getBlockConfig. I do not cast it as an interface to some unique class. I simply call this function, and then I have model, system prompt, user prompt. That's what I wanted. I wanted to have convenient and simple interface for the block. And it took me a few hours to make requirements, make an interface which I would like. I'm not a fan of generics, but it was unavoidable because I must do simple things. So that's what happened. One new generic which solves the problems. And it's time to move boring explanation away. Let's run the pipeline. Here it is. I have OpenAI pipeline, which makes a few things. First of all, it gets a text, then it makes this text to audio file. After that, it generates an image for the text. Here it is. That's all. Let's run it. Also, let's run the curl. Okay, OpenAI test block. Let's start. Also, let's do the following. I share Firefox. Let me make Firefox less. Like here. So it's my storage. Let's go to pipelines. It's empty. It's important. So I run this thing. It reports as curl reports processing ID, and logs to the left yields me some debug stuff, debug messages such as there is something discovered, there are things processings such as this processing completed. And I think that's all. Let's go to the Firefox. And let's check what happened. Here it is. This is my pipeline. This is the processing itself. Let's make it a bit bigger. Yep. And there are 3 blocks, 3 outputs, such as get event text, text to speech, and image. Obviously, they're sorted by name. Let's make different. Let's modify it. Okay, let's... okay, first things first. Let's check what's inside text. There is text file. What's interesting, back in the day, I have introduced extension detection based on bytes. So Golang on its own is able to do this through some libraries, so I don't need some system libraries to detect file type. I can rely on thing introduced in this binary itself. So let's go to this output, what's inside. Char set is correct. Attack, 1 minute. Preview. Okay, no problem. Let's download it. Let's check what's inside and how to show new window. Window capture. It's Notepad. Okay, Notepad. So you can see it. Let me increase that. Here it is. There is an output which some event. Interesting. October 1. I think it's October 5. Let's do another generation. Sometimes it happens. It's about date. In my prompt, which I'm using in current production, there is date which is shaped by Python. So it says today is the date, find things done. Let's check the prompt we have here. This prompt says, you must look for historical event which happened years ago. What happened today years ago? There is nothing about date. Today, what happened today years ago? Let's run this pipeline again. Today is a world of teachers. There were a few events. I've seen it, but they were quite odd pictures, which DALL-E refused to generate. I think it's also related to some sort of censorship of United States. Firefox, let's check what happens there. OpenAI test, good. Text, download. I think this one. So again, OpenAI doesn't like numbers. October 29th, but okay. The prompt I'm using, it's quite big, and it always yields correct data. The prompt in this example, it's quite small, no big deal. So we have text output. It's a first block. Let's move it to the right side. I'll try to make it less. Yeah, it's a first block in here, text output, some sort of historical event. After that, let's go to the second block. What happened next? Why did it? Okay, no problems. Second block is text-to-speech. I have MP3. It has some size. I won't listen it because I'm aware it's accurate. But what's interesting is the third block, an image. Let's go to the image. It's quite big image. That's good, but it might be odd. I'm not sure. Preview. Not bad. Let's increase it. So it was ARPANET introduced. Okay, it's some sort of PC. I think it's hello, but text in a picture, it's not the strongest size of AI right now. So this is a pipeline. It made some consequent actions, blocks. It saved it to shared storage, which is beautiful, but there are things I would like to proceed. I don't need this. My use case in this pipeline, I have big pipeline. I will have to update this prompt to something sensible, maybe to the thing I'm using in production right now. It has some text, it has themes to avoid, such as violence, war, etc. I don't like it in a channel which is dedicated to quite peaceful events, such as space exploration, etc. So that prompt is quite big and it yields results I want. Unfortunately, I have to press it. So one of those items I wanted to do is to make transcription. Here it is. The block which makes transcriptions. Let's copy it to here. Even better. This is the block. Right now, it's defined as HTTP request to somewhere, but let's do correct way. Let's make OpenAI call, because I remember that Google has its own LLM, etc., named Gemini, and it's compatible with OpenAI interface, communication interface. So I might request chat completion from OpenAI, or I can use the same Python library, I think the same, or forked, to make chat completion for Gemini. I haven't used it before, but I remember that they have had similar stuff. In here, I don't need HTTP request. I might make transcription request. So let's go. This is the place where I might show how that thing is done. First of all, I need to understand what kind of settings are needed for transcription. With that said, let's go to Firefox and let's visit one library. This one. And let's check what is done there. Yeah. It was transcription audio speech to text. So what I want, it's about the plan used to have some sort of example transcription. Okay, I think I have removed it, but I have an example somewhere in another project. Let me go there. Most recent one is World Teachers Day. This is the example. So this is example of audio file transcription. It has different segments. those segments are arrays, which some sort of, let's start from this second, and there should be end another second. Right now there are 5 segments of this text. World Teachers Day. It's today. That's what I want in the... Maybe let's copy it. Okay, I won't copy it. I will... There will be a test which has mock, and this content should be the output. Yeah, so let's define what is necessary, and that's the thing located in documentation. It's here. So what we have here: whisper 1, recording, and create transcription response text. So it seems to be correct. Let me check production what I use. I think it was the same. Yeah, whisper 1. Response format, it used to be... Things first, and here I should say verbose JSON, that's what I need. So with that said, I can copy paste let's do copy paste of this. Let's call it TTS request transcription. After that, I can say TTS. No. Transcription, that's correct. Input and output it's all the same, but there is a problem. I need not... I forgot to hide Firefox. Beautiful. So I copy pasted the file and renamed TTS to transcription. That's all. So right now I need to do the following. First of all, client audio request. Yeah, audio transcription. That's correct. Now, client audio request. Now I need to check what's their model. Yes, for sure. Model block config model. That's correct. Then I need to check. They have file path, but I do not use file path. I use data. Let's check audio request file path, either in an existing file or a file name representing the contents of a reader. I can pass the reader, which contains bytes. Beautiful, let's do this. Reader. What else does it have? Prompt. I don't think it's necessary. File model language. Yes, language is necessary. So by default, it will be English. So let's copy those stuff. I think data should be in before. Also, it should have some sort of format. Yeah, that's important. This format on its own, it is JSON, verbose JSON. That's what I needed. Reader, it is not reader, but input. After that, let's check library, what they say. There is a response which contains text. Okay. Let's go to the thing. I need create transcription. It yields me audio response. Audio response, it is. Oh, it has text. It's already parsed. It's interesting. So I don't need to close it or work like that. That's awesome. So is that set if error nil response? I don't need to close it. But what I need response bytes new buffer. Let's check again. Audio response. Does it have some sort of interface? No. Has language, duration. I'm interested in segments and text. I'm interested in everything here. But the response on its own, the text, they print text. I can JSON bytes new buffer, so I need to encode JSON response. That's incorrect. Buffer. No. Let's check what else does it have. Audio response. What methods do you have? To audio response. No. Create transcription. So that's all. Okay, no problem. I used to have it somewhere. Okay, let's do the following. JSON Marshall response. Okay. That's JSON data. It is what? It's a byte array. So this should be correct, but I don't like it because this is an object. I should have some sort of method named encoder. Let's check. There was JSON encode something. Encoder writes JSON values to an output stream. Okay, no problem. Let's leave it as is. But what's important, I need these parameters to pass to be here. And okay, let's do the following. Here I can say audio file. Now let's check what they required in request. Model, it's a string. Then, by the way, let's make it, no, I'll leave it as is. Then we have reader. I don't pass it. Language, it's a string. Yes. Format, it's here. Audio response format. I need verbose JSON. So I do the same. Audio file. So in here it is reader. So I can say I don't need it because I have example. I think here image resize. Audio reader. So it was image bytes, but it will be audio bytes. What I need, audio file. Yeah, that will be correct. Audio file also. Let's check the config. Config didn't have this image, that's important. After that, I need to convert audio bytes. Will it work? No. Bytes new reader. Yep. Maybe even better. This looks like it's done, but before that, this I need to pass this to YAML config for default options here. With that said, I used to have it here. TTS request. Let's do the copy paste. It won't be TTS request, but transcription request, which has these parameters. So by default, model it's Whisper1, I think. Firefox, hello. So we have Whisper1, its default model. Let's check how it's defined in the library itself. Create transcription. Yes. Whisper1, it's default. I'll make it in config. So language by default it's English. Format, that's important, it's verbose JSON. Let's check the library. It also has verbose JSON. Config here. So we have defined the config, default values, and it's important that right now we'll define the schema, which will validate that stuff. Transcription request, yes, transcription config. Here, OpenAI transcription. Audio transcription. Block to generate, to transcribe. Using OpenAI, good. So right now we have a few parameters such as model to use, string, whisper1, and enum. So we do not allow extra models right now. Maybe there will be whisper2, whatever, but it will be later. After that, I have a few parameters such as it was a response format, but in here it is called format. Yeah, format. In audio request, it was called, okay. It was called response format, but okay, I'll follow this interface. Let's call it format. By default, it's response format string verbose JSON. And it's, let's make it the only viable option because I need to work with this. I think there was also another format named, there were plenty of them. JSON, text, I need verbose JSON, yeah. Also, what option? Language. Let's check OpenAI. What do they say? So what they say? Audio file. That is by default. If it's text, it contains nothing useful for me at least. Response format. Okay. I need language. Oh. It's not a big deal. What I want to understand, it's that parameter, what it's about. But okay, let's keep it English by default because we can always make translations inside. Language of the audio, type string, default English, and enum English. That's important. Required. What do we need? Nothing, to be honest. We don't require anything. Oh no, I forgot audio. Description will generate audio file to, yes, yep, that's the only thing we need. Transcription output, correct. That's all we need. Request transcription. That's it. Right now we need to go to it was, yeah, it's no longer viable. I need to go to the registry. It's here. Good. OpenAI request transcription. Correct. Here, text to speech. Let's make it copy paste. So I have defined this block as well as other stuff. Now it's important to write unit test for this block. It can be achieved by copy-pasting text-to-speech block. Here is the test. So it's important. First thing first, let's rename text-to-speech to transcription. Then this one. OpenAI text-to-speech, that is incorrect. Now let's check the config. So this config used to contain a few things. This is a check of default values. It has model, language, and format. So let's run this test. It should fail. Come on, it will fail here. Yes, good, because it's not transcription, but whisper. Language, it's English, format, it is both JSON. So let's run this test, it should pass. This is a check of this block and its default configuration, which comes from YAML. So it works, beautiful. This test is a schema validation. So it ensures that the thing I made to do here is correct. Fortunately, there are no errors, so if I do an error here, let's move next. Next test ensures that this schema is invalid. Fortunately, it should pass. Incorrect input, that is interesting. So in here, I have, let's call it model. Schema is invalid. Yes, audio file is required. Beautiful. So if I say audio file nil, ta-da, it's passing. Audio file invalid type expected string given null. Yes. But here empty client. Audio file, let's make it as test mp3. I don't think it should pass. Oh, it did, because it's string, it's validating a schema. Okay, fine. What's important is this one. So in here I have audio file, which should be a list of bytes. After that, transcription content. Let's copy paste this, but with one segment. Duration, language, segments, good tokens. I don't need all of this stuff. I need only one. Transcribe, yes, good. Then I'm checking transcription endpoint, that's correct. Transcription block. Okay. I'm checking that input has been correct. It's passing, so it can work with that. One more thing. Let's do this one. I need to ensure that output. Did I check that output? No, I did not. That's awesome. So in text-to-speech request, I used to have extra line, I think. I was checking that bytes were equal. Yeah, I was checking in image request. Beautiful. In transcription request, I must check that this mocked response equals to result. I hope it won't work. It's a string. In here I have it as JSON encoded. Yeah, it is not, because it has format in here, and reality it's different JSON. I mean, it has escape symbols. This one is formatted JSON. What can we do? First of all, to ensure that it is the same mocked response, yeah, I must encode both to JSON to ensure that they are correct. Come on, it will be painful. So I need to copy paste this. Suite new error, JSON data equals to result. Yeah, bytes. This one is bytes. Yeah, so let's run this. I'm afraid it won't pass. Because there are parameters such as indent, yeah, because it's a map. Now it has different keys, etc. So there is no order in keys. So to check that it's equal, I need to find a method equal map, I think, or let's do this. Suite, what was it called? Equal values. I am afraid it won't compare maps. Yeah, it won't. But okay, not a big deal. Because what I can do, I can ensure that this result contains what is necessary, and that necessary is let's say duration. I think there will be problem with rounding. Beautiful. Slash. Oh, I can do better. Here it is. Come on. So, yeah, it was about safety. So, what I have is unit test as well as block definition. Let's update the pipeline. In here I have image request. I don't need it right now. Let's cut it somewhere here. And let's add a new block named ID OpenAI transcription request. Input config. I have no config, but a thing named audio file. Audio file coming from get event TTS. After that, what parameters does it have? Language, format, model. I don't need anything. So this is a pipeline. Let's run it. Also, let's go to Firefox and check. It's empty. Good. Pipeline still starts. Beautiful, it started. So I can make a request. Okay. Transcription. There are no errors. Oh, there is an error. Beautiful. Found an error. Okay. Processing data for block transcription request. Status 400 message invalid file format. Supported formats. FLAC MP3. Aha. It's about reader. So here audio file, but in here I said there is a reader, bytes, new reader, and there is bytes. The problem, this file, text-to-speech request, let's go to Firefox and let's check, let's ensure that text-to-speech, it's MP3 file, it's valid MP3. Let's download and listen. Hello. There is audio which works correct, but the library yielded a problem. Let's go to the library and check create transcription, context audio request, beautiful. Reader is an optional or a file name representing contents. Do you mean this? Also, it's not audio. Let's make it dynamic. because maybe in future we'll have to debug it and we'll see the history. It's processing. No, it should contain ID. Block. Yeah, there is block. And not get available, get ID. It's a string, so this one should be correct. I'm happy to have logs with colors. Also here I have sped up the startup of the binary, making its Go function with weight groups, but OpenAI sometimes requests there might have problems. It experienced some, maybe it's a big list. Okay, what do I have here? Worker, let's go to Firefox and let's check. There's only text. Processing completed. So it's reported as completed. Maybe it's a cache. Let's run again. Here it is. Get event text. Transcription. Beautiful. I have transcription here. Let's get inside and let's read this output. To be honest, it should be JSON, not text. Okay, that's a lot. Let's do the following. Let's copy it. So I have 37 seconds of text. Okay, I can believe it's long, but what I don't like, it's a text. It's not JSON. It's saved as a text. What can I do with it? It's quite straightforward in description of this pipeline. So here I can say it's a text. Output. Is there anything about output? No. Okay, I'll take care about it a bit later, but for now let's return it as it used to be. Yeah, so there is image generation as well as transcription, but to be honest, let's do a bit different thing. First of all, it's transcription, then image generation. It's quite important for me because as you see here, come on, have I forgot to hide Firefox? Okay, it's one monitor issue. Sometimes I forget to hide Firefox to show you what I've done. So what I've done in here, it's I moved this block, transcription request, and I returned image generation. What I want to achieve is each of these segments must be a request for image generation. So this pipeline will transform into type array, just like, let's say, here. Transcription input, no, where is it? Type. Yeah, type array, and then it comes with property. Yeah, but what's important, I have segments here, and I also have JSON path. So on here I said, okay, this image will come from the big text. It used to be okay, but now I have event transcription. So origin, event transcription, and then I must say, it was somewhere in unit test, I think pipeline test. Why? Not here, but where? Let's find it. Let's find it here. I have it in test. So I used to have the test for this particular case. It's in unit tests. So I'm making requests for an image, and this is an array. But let's check if this test will pass. I don't think it should pass. Because here I work different. Okay, let's leave it as this. But in here I can copy paste it. So this is what I have. And I need to create a test for it, because that would be quite expensive to check it on live. Unfortunately, we are over time for 22 minutes, sorry. But in the end, what I have, first of all, I have a new block for transcription request. So I pass request to OpenAI with audio file. I get output, and this output is it's here. There are some number of text. Oh, it's about the Beatles, I think. Yeah, today Beatles has, I think today it was Love Me Do. Yep. October 5. Beautiful. It took today date seriously. Unfortunately, I see it as too much segments. It should be less segments. It's not 32. Let's check config of this transcription. Model file path reader prompt. So there is a problem I see. Too much audio segments. I think it is related to some parameter. Let's check. Let's go to Whisper. I think it's related to the model. Speech to text endpoints, transcriptions and translations. I need transcription. It was correct with MP3. By the way, let's check previous processing. It's 9A. Yeah, it has synchronized. So maybe previous processing, which I saw only one, it was 9A. It was only get text, but now there is transcription, so I can download it and check what's inside. Let's go to here. Come on. Here it is 29 seconds, which is definitely not 37 seconds. It's less text, but oh wait, how much segments does it have? 7, 8, 9 segments. Okay, 9 segments is better. But today I think today I got a bit different thing. It's from my production model. I got the same text as Beatles, 16 seconds, but it can be related to one fact that I have prompt which limits here. You must look, it must happen. I'll write a short story about it. It's some interesting maker. About 30 words. So this is coming from prompt, this prompt. Let's count. That's definitely not 30 words. It's too much. 100. Let's check. Yep, it's 73 spaces. So it doesn't follow the prompt. Obviously, I'll fix it by copy pasting my prompt but let's keep it a secret, so we will post it in different place. It's quite big. I'm happy about it. There is no need of checking what happened here. Maybe I should have worked with temperature or this one. It's about ignoring my prompt. Beautiful. So let's make commit. Oh, by the way, one more thing. Make test, obviously. Let's check how it works in the end. I will have to add this big JSON to new test to ensure that array property will generate me number of images. Oh, there is failing something. What is failing? Data registry. There is real write to mini IO, and there are some retries and policies like this. Unfortunately, sometimes it just fails in test. And request image on oi, let's check. How can this fail? I have updated size. Nice. It's in settings. So it's pathing and pathing. Good. What else did fail? Have I missed something? Okay. Is it shut down or what? It's mini IO again. Oh, okay. I see that mini IO has some complications. For example, I have uploaded a file which contained text hello world, but it yielded me some output which I have downloaded today, just a few minutes ago, to ensure the text. So it has caching, it has problems. I will have to switch. Let's make a plan. By the way, let's just commit this. I have noted that mini.io sometimes having problems and I'm not happy about it. So next stream will be October 7. First thing first, I need to ensure that image request respects transcription request segments. I have the test for it, but I need to write a test which will, I need to run functional test. Here it is. I have test for processing the bounce from one worker, from one binary to another binary, but I need to write a test which will mock responses from OpenAI, and then I will have to introduce maybe this particular pipeline to that test. Let's make the following. What if I run this? I had 37 segments. That means 37 pictures. Each picture costed me maybe 30 cents. It's quite expensive, so $3 for this is €3 for this experiment would be quite tough. But let's do this. It should be 10 words. Okay, 15 words. Story client named years ago. Write a short story about it. Add some interesting facts and make it. The story should be around 15 words. October 5th. Today, October. Yeah. Text to speech, then transcription request, then image request. But before, let's make it. Oh, let's test it with resume. So what I am going to do, it's here. I will make it one block. It's quite interesting experiment. So I'm making it with one block. I will have a text, which I will read here. And after that, if this text is quite small, I will copy paste blocks, and after that we'll proceed processing, so it will have to execute only the last blocks instead of whole pipeline. So let's do this. I have this processing, Firefox, hello. This processing was about 0b. It's here. So 0b contains one item. Let's read this text. Yes, the text is quite... It's not 15 words. It's a lot. Beginning musical revolution level. No, let's... That is better. Maybe I should do different. Let's update this prompt. Because text records, they are quite cheap. Update this prompt. I will copy paste these blocks in order to not forget them. Let's update this prompt by... should. No, not should. Let's make it must be 15 words long. Let's exploit banks. Let's check how it works now. I must restart it because these files are loaded not in runtime, but at start of this thing. So maybe I should rework it. Let's run it. I have a new processing, 7F. So I go to Firefox, OpenAI TTS, 7F, get text, output. Let's read it. And now the prompt did work. It's less text for sure. What's necessary? Yeah, beautiful. I have muted myself, I think. Okay. Transcription. It has four segments, 5 segments. It's good. It has the same text as it used to be. And now, magic. I say, let's generate images. I hope it won't work. It will be expensive. So, image request, get event transcription. Yes. I start this binary again. And then here I say, let's proceed. Processing from get event image. So I press enter and I hope there will be error. Debug, discard worker. By the way, why I not use this? In here, what does it say? Processing completed. Oh, really? So starting processing OpenAI transcription. Yes, it did work. Then it said completed. What? Did it complete? So let's go to Firefox. Because I think it didn't work. Yeah, there is no image. Maybe it's again forgetting to synchronize, because I don't see any errors. Debug. Yes, there are no errors. Okay, maybe I'm making it wrong. Let's go again. So I hope it's not cache. Not a big deal. Let's restart this binary. And let's make this request again. Also, let's clean this terminal. Yeah. So I'm making a request to resume. Okay. Let's check. Processing completed. Firefox doesn't say anything useful, but there are a few possibilities. Raw data print image request. Oh, it's available, which means sometimes this situation is possible when block is not detected and it's the only worker, but it should report that it's impossible to do. But here I have it as done. So let's do the following. I cannot leave it, sorry, it will overtime a bit more. I think it is in pipeline in here. So how can we do it? Debug, set input data. Yeah, here. No, logger warning. So this will say that processing has been started. Let's stop this binary. And in here I can, let's check it again. OpenAI test. This exists. Processing. It exists. Block. Get event image. Get event image. Input is empty. Resume. So there are no warnings. It's good. These warnings means it didn't get any data. That's awesome, which means it happened here. So I need to understand, maybe I made a mistake. It is possible to be here, or this block tries to access mini IO. If mini IO yields nothing, this block does nothing. So I say debug. Oh, here it is, warning. Pipelines, blocks to process, block data, image request. Yes, the block is here. It's good. But let's check if error happens at stage of let's get the data from registry. Because it happens in runtime. And I'm afraid it's storage again. Oh. Yep, there is something. Here it is. Oh, it's better. Object is not map. It's about type array. Because here I defined it as let's get those segments. Get input config data. Let's go to implementation. Here, beautiful. So this is what I want to do when input type is array. I want to assemble those stuff, but things happened. Let's check. Object is not map. I think it's here. Merge maps. No, it should be working. The problem, I think it's here. Where was it? Select type of result value as well as result value string. So let's check what's there. But I think it's already quite straightforward. I need to write a test. Wait, clear. I need to write big functional test to ensure that this JSON path is, wait a second. It's incorrect, I think. So let's run it. So what we have here? First of all, first input was byte buffer, obviously. Then I got first element named text, but I don't need text. Where is it? I don't need text where I used to have that big output. First text, it's about October and it ends in UK. In here, it's about October, but it doesn't end in UK. It should be like this. So JSON path is incorrect. I'm happy about it. So there are a few things how to debug it. Let's go to Firefox and let's check. JSON path online. Good, I have JSON. Now I need to insert JSON path from here. Here it is. It should be array, but it yields me one text, just like in terminal. So how to do it? First of all, I have segments. Okay. Root object. Segments. Is it segments? Yes. Segments. Then wildcard all objects regardless their names. Yes. Yes, that should be correct. Five segments. Okay. So it is correct. One, two, three, four. There are 4 segments. It's in here there are also 4, but this is a string which contains everything. This is incorrectly calculated stuff. So string, okay. The error happens here. Where is this block? Da-da-da-da. Okay, I will have to write a test because to debug it using this it's quite tough. I think it is related to JSON path and its particular implementation in here. This one. Let's do one last thing. One last to ensure that it comes to JSON path, because if it's not coming to JSON path, then that's obviously a problem. Oh, it comes to JSON path. Here it is. So if it comes to JSON path, then beautiful debugging. So it is extracting whole text. It does not extract what is necessary. So with that said, I can simulate it in test itself. So I have a test for JSON path, I think. Where was it? Test unit, test block, I think. Yeah, here it is. So let's do the test. This test about output config. I don't need it yet. But what I want, it was here. So the way I used to test it, I said there is a result of transcription, and then I made this test with the same duration, language segments. Duration, language segments. Yes, I used to have it. And there is a test. But I think the problem is in format. So here I say, okay, there is a result which is already parsed. It is saved there. And HTTP request image. So this test should also fail. I hope it will fail. No, it doesn't fail. That's good. It must fail, but it's not failing. So this is a test I will have to debug. It's beautiful. It's, I think, one of the problems I need to solve. Yes, this is the problem. And another problem I need to solve, it's disable. Because it yields a lot of problems, I need to disable caching in mini.io. That's quite everything I need to do within tomorrow. Today is Monday. Is it? No, today is Saturday. Beautiful. Sunday. So I'll have to do it on Sunday. And that's all. Fortunately, I have a test. It's working, but it must not work. That's all. It's happy debugging. And for you, thank you for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.